EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for June 12th, 2024. It is Wednesday, and I do want to look back to yesterday a little bit because we had a lot of questions about why it was so cloudy yesterday, and that is because we had an upper level disturbance that was moving across New York State yesterday. And with any upper level low that is in the vicinity, there's going to be some very cold air aloft. And with diurnal heating in the afternoon, we saw a lot more clouds because of that temperature contrast. So it was unforeseen. It wasn't expected to be that much of an influence with that upper level low staying to the north of us. But we did, in fact, have a little bit of an influence from that as it moved across New York State. And because of that, because of the temperature difference, we had a lot of stratocumulus to deal with in the afternoon. So you had a lot more clouds than we expected yesterday, but that is not going to be the case today, as that upper level low is now going to be situated over eastern New England, and we're not going to have that influencing our weather today. Might be a little bit more in the way of clouds early on, but then we're going to have mostly sunny skies moving in the afternoon hours today. So we have today is going to be, we'll call it intervals of clouds and sun. The clouds are going to be more so earlier, and then later in the afternoon we have mostly sunny skies moving into the region. And then once we get beyond that, we are mostly sunny here on Thursday. Temperatures are going to increase over the next several days. Ridging is going to start building in aloft. And it's going to start a little bit today, so a little bit warmer than yesterday with more sun expected also. 78 to 84 is the temperature spread across the entire region. And then 84 to 92 on Thursday. So quite a jump there from one day to the next. And that's just the start of it. We have a cold front that's going to move toward the region on Friday. Now, the question is, when does this get in here as far as the scattered showers and thunderstorms? There is the opportunity along this cold front to have some scattered showers and thunderstorms. The best forcing is going to be off toward north across northern New England, closest to the area of low pressure, although there's not a lot shown here. This cold front actually extends out here like this, right? And is pressing off to the south and east. If this comes in early enough in the day, we're just going to have garden variety showers and storms, and that's what the Storm Prediction Center, as of their latest update, has indicated for Friday. If it does come in a little bit later, though, we could be dealing with some severe weather, especially because we're, this time of year when you're dealing with really hot temperatures and then very high dew points, which we're going to have on Friday. That can be enough to really get this going as far as severe weather is concerned. So we move this forward, and I do see some scattered storms coming in later in the afternoon on the NAM. So if that is the correct timing and it comes in later, the later the better if you wanted any kind of severe weather action across the region. If you're one of those that love severe weather and is a severe weather enthusiast, you're going to cheer on a later arrival of this front. So the timing is still the only real question of this, because I do see the models indicating, and this is the NAM sounding here for this evening, and have the inverted V signature here. We have very good instability across the region. We can see that right here. Very good instability values across the region. And there's also some pretty good lapse rates that are in the lower levels here. It could contribute to a straight line wind threat. If we were to see anything across our region today, it's going on a Friday. I'm sorry. If you see anything on Friday, it's going to be about timing. Okay, that's really the bottom line with this. And the NAM thinks it's later, and that's why these numbers are a little bit better. Shear's there. Everything's checking the boxes for at least a marginally severe day. When I say marginally severe, it could be something approaching severe limits. Maybe not 60 miles per hour or greater, but you might have some 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts in isolated cases here as it looks right now. And that is still enough. Believe me, we deal with a lot of utility clients, and 45 to 50 miles per hour is certainly enough to get some damage as far as branches coming down, power outages, that kind of thing. So it won't be widespread, but there could be some as a result of that. Okay, so we'll continue to watch that timing. Timing is going to be key to what happens here on Friday. Right now, we're kind of leaning in the way of the SBC, which is less maybe isolated coverage, but I don't want to rule it out, even though the SBC is saying it's just going to be regular thunderstorms. I'm not really so sure about that just yet. So we'll continue to follow that throughout the week. This cold front is going to move through on Friday. And again, here's another thing on Friday. If it's going to be an earlier arrival of the front, temperatures will be lower, not much lower, but lower than they were projected a couple days ago. So instead of being 90, 92-ish, we might be talking about temperatures that are capped in the upper 80s instead. So we'll see. The timing is going to be instrumental to that as well. Okay. Once this moves through, we're back to Mostly sunny skies this weekend. A trough is going to settle in. We're going to have very comfortable temperatures. We're going to have to watch this little bugger here. This is actually moving across Florida as I back this up. See that with the heavy rain that's across Florida. There's some models, including this one, that's indicating there might be some kind of development to this, tropical or subtropical, as it moves off the coast here. Would not affect the to our area at all, because this is going to be heading out in this direction, picked up by this cold front that's coming through on Friday. So there's not going to be a concern for any land areas, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be classified later in the week if some modeling trends are true to form. So we'll see what happens with that as we move forward. But that moves out to sea, and then Saturday and Sunday, lower humidity days. Still going to be warm. It's still going to be in the lower 80s generally on over the weekend, lower to middle 80s, 80 85 degree range Saturday and Sunday, but very low humidity. So that is going to be a pleasant weekend coming up, and no chance for precipitation. So we're looking at a really nice weekend coming up overall, especially with the lower humidity values that are expected. Once we get to Monday, we're going to go back to the heat and the humidity increasing again. So we're going to have mostly sunny skies straight through the weekend, and again on Monday it looks like. But the humidity is going to come up. The temperatures are going to come up. We're going to be making a run at 90 degrees on Monday. And from that point forward, for a very prolonged period, probably the next 7 or 8 days, we're looking at temperatures 90 or better every single day, with humidity coming back into play. And it's going to be a very unpleasant time frame that we're talking about. Here's the temperatures today, near average, and we have a slight increase in the Thursday-Friday time frame to slightly above average on each of these 2 days. Then here's that trough over the weekend. You see the cooler temperatures indicated by the blue, but it's not going to be cold by any means. It's going to be cooler and with lower humidity. Very refreshing both Saturday and Sunday, especially Saturday. Sunday might go up a couple degrees in temperature, but once we get into Monday, we start turning on the jets with the temperatures, and that's just going to keep going and going and going all throughout the week and into next weekend, in fact, where temperatures are going to be 90 or better, in some places 95 or better. We're going to have several of those days. It's going to be that kind of heat wave with high humidity, and this is summer, so it is what it is. But this is a little bit early for a prolonged heat wave. This is something you usually see in like mid-July through August with the prolonged heat wave. So this is a little bit early for that, and when a lot of places have not had a 90-degree temperature reading this year, and once you get outside Philadelphia, basically, and we're going to see not only our first but several consecutive days, maybe more than a week's worth of a heat wave here coming next week. So we have that coming next week. Not a lot of precipitation next week either, other than an isolated thunderstorm in a few spots at certain times throughout the week, and that's about it. But this entire 10-day period from now through next Friday does look rather dry on the European model overall. Okay, can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm that might be a saving grace and give you a little bit of relief somewhere in there. But I will tell you, your best chance for rain is actually to come, for anything organized anyway, is going to come here on Friday with these scattered showers and thunderstorms. So if nothing else, cheer on the rain, because you're probably going to need it, and it's going to be less artificial water, not artificial, but you might have to, go out to the garden and water the plants, and I don't think the grass yet, but you can water the plants and your vegetation just to keep them going. You're going to have to do that, it looks like, once we get to next week, and we get to that heat and humidity as it builds into the region. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for June 12th, 2024. Have a great Wednesday.